We are tracking 2 disturbances and 1 invest in the Atlantic today. One of them more than likely will be Epsilon, and we may see Zeta as well. And check out these temperatures scattered across the United States and Canada. We've got 18 states under freeze warnings and a few under winter storm warnings today. The first time we've seen that this winter, and certainly won't be the last. In fact, chances are we will see snow before we even see the last hurricane of this season. Welcome back, my friends. October 16th, 2020, 10:27 a.m. And yes, that's right. It's very cold in the United States, especially most of it. Not all of it. As we know, the West is very warm and the Gulf area is still pretty warm today. But just taking a look at these early temperatures, check this out, guys. 20s and 30s across most of the United States. Can you believe that? Well, I can. It's that time of year again, but we have a little bit of relief along the coast here, obviously near the Gulf and obviously on the West. But we are here to track something else today, and that is easily looked at on this chart. Here are our 2 disturbances in the Atlantic Ocean today. We do have disturbance number 1 at 40% chance of cyclone formation. Chances are this will be Epsilon before this could be Epsilon. So we could be looking at both Epsilon and Zeta in the next couple days. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you 2 different models. We're going to look at our Canadian model and we're going to look at our GFS model. Now both of these show both of these invests forming as we showed here, 1 and 2. Obviously this one being the bigger of the 2, 40% chance of cyclone formation in 5 days. 20% in 48 hours, and then we have disturbance number 2, 30% chance of cyclone formation, a little bump up from that 20%. Now, basically what I'm going to show you is pretty much the opposite of each of these charts. So the CMC, the Canadian model, has its version, and then the GFS has its version. So we're going to look at our first disturbance, you can see right here, and you're going to see the other one pop up here. Now, the Canadian is a little bit different because it shows the smaller of the 2 disturbances actually surviving and being the bigger of these 2 storms, and then the GFS actually shows the first one being the strongest one. So 2 different ideas here, both of which show the storms forming. So follow along with me as we move our bar across here. This is our Canadian model. You're going to see the bigger of the 2 storms, the 40% chance of cyclone formation be the bigger storm, but it's really not going to do much as far as affect the United States, as we're going to see here. As we move across into the 20th, we can see both storms pretty prominent here. We got the second disturbance down in this area. And now I'm going to click ahead in time through the 21st. This is the 22nd, and we can already see that 40% chance of cyclone formation. Chances are by this time it would be Epsilon, just shooting straight up towards the northeast of the United States. And then by the 23rd, we already have it kind of peeling off towards that extended area of Canada just outside the United States where you can see Maine. So as I move forward, we can see it dies down to 964. Pretty prominent storm at that time, but we can see our second disturbance is now just crossing Cuba into the Bahamas in southern Florida. Again, this is by October 24th, according to the Canadian models. And then we can finish out the chart, and pretty much the second disturbance, which could be Zeta at this time, is just following the same path as Epsilon, with Epsilon being the first storm to form. Now, when we look at the GFS, it's pretty much the opposite. And you will see what I mean by that as we move across this chart. So now we're going to see the second disturbance be the more prominent storm and the one that survives, basically becoming the stronger of the 2, both of which follow the same path. Now, we're going to have a serious issue along the East Coast in the coming days, basically from the 24th moving forward through Halloween, a very big wave situation along the entire East Coast because of these 2 storms. And really quickly, just take a look at Invest 94L, that 40% chance of cyclone formation. Look at the spaghetti plot. So this thing is a certain mess right now. It looks like a bunch of spaghetti on a fork or a plate. And a lot of that is due to our very dramatic jet stream and the high and low pressures out in the Bermuda Atlantic. This storm does not know where it's going to go. Chances are once it does organize itself, it's going to ride up the East Coast, and we're going to have a serious wave problem, as I explained before. Because of these 2 storms coming back to back, it's going to be like a bathtub just being shaken from either side. And again, according to our list of names for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, we've gone through all original 21, and we are already at Epsilon and Zeta in the Greek alphabet. After that will be Eta. And we may even see more after that, my friends. And we're just looking at a more advanced version of the GFS. We could see both storms riding up the East Coast, and we could see why those waves would be such an issue. Even if the storm is a few hundred miles off the coast, having 2 of these types of storms, 2 cyclones churning up the ocean along the East Coast is going to be a very big issue for the Outer Banks and also parts of Long Island, Rhode Island, things like that. It's extended little gullies and gaps, all those little areas that go into the United States are going to be heavily affected by these storms. And I'm just going to take you to current time and run you through this chart, the GFS version, and we can see that we're going to have the bottom, the second disturbance, the one that is going to be the stronger of these two storms. And as I move forward towards the 20th, we really start seeing that convection going on in the Caribbean, and we see the first storm actually curl down out of sight and then back in towards the Bahamas. So we'll be able to watch that from the 21st going forward. Storm's going to ride up into the East Coast. This may be Epsilon according to the Canadian model, but according to this chart, this will be Zeta, and Epsilon will form in the Caribbean. I know it's a little hard to follow, but we have two different versions going on, and then by the 24th, we have one of these two storms just parallel to the Carolinas, making its way towards the northeast, with the second now forming in the Caribbean, heading across Cuba and into southern Florida. By the 25th, we are going to have effects in Florida and the Bahamas for sure, if this stays true, and then a pretty much full-blown hurricane skimming the east coast of Florida, about to ride up east coast of the United States to cause more of an issue along the entire coast. And the main point of this is that we have at least two more storms that we have to be responsible for to get the word out to people. Whether or not they are showing a landfall, as of right now, these storms are still coming dangerously close to the United States, especially this time of year when the Caribbean is the hot spot for forming these storms. To have one form outside of there is a little different, but now we have two of these storms to worry about, one of which looks like it's going to get fairly strong next to the state of Florida. So Florida's been lucky for this October, but it may not show the same luck in the coming days. But with that said, I will keep you posted through the life cycle of both of these storms. If you have not already, my friends, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps, and I enjoy putting this content out to you and helping keep everyone updated on these storms in the Atlantic Ocean, including our upcoming winter. Look at this, guys. Multiple states, 18, almost 20 states under some sort of winter weather watch. All right, my friends, thank you so much. I will be back with an update on these two storms going on in the Atlantic Ocean. If anything happens today, I will be back with a report on that. Thank you so much. Shout out to Canada, especially Ontario. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.